things we're struggling with right now, work through the kinks, and get some other guys time and some experience on the floor, like guys like Isaiah Banks and
Banks had a good night.
Octavian got a little bit more minutes. Jackson got more minutes, and so we got good production from a lot of guys tonight.
That could have been Big O's career high at 21.
It might have been. It
Yeah.
might have been. But, he did a pretty good job chasing rebounds for the most part.
He did.
Had 5 blocks.
7 rebounds.
I thought Jackson did a really good job chasing rebounds around, being
Yep.
active, and getting out in the passing lanes and doing some nice things for us. So it was good to see him get 14 and 6 there.
You take your shooting percentage, Coach, 59%. I got you for 14 for 29 from the arc. That's right at 50%. That's nice.
Yeah.
Night in, night out, you'll take those, big guy.
We're a pretty good three-point shooting team.
Yeah,
when
you
we
really
got the
are.
right combinations on the floor. We've always talked about if we could get to 9 or 10 threes a game, that puts us in pretty good position to be competitive in games. So for us to shoot 14 threes in a game like this, I understand it's an exhibition game against the All-Star team, but it's good to get guys confidence and get their
And speaking of confidence, I really like Blake Godwin. He's a kid that plays hard, takes care of the ball, and that kid, if he's in the zone, just like Nolan,
Yep.
on any given night, in Region 9 championship night in March, those kids might step up and win you a title.
Yeah, and they're those guys defensively are usually in the right spots and do the right things, and so it was good. I think another great thing that we can take from that we've been trying to preach to our guys that we can take from this game is our rebounding. We're at close to 60 rebounds tonight at 58, and then the other thing I really like to see is 29 assists.
Yep.
Right now,
low turnovers.
Right now, we're averaging 45 rebounds a game, and
that's great.
Close to, gosh, I can't remember what we're at for assists, but it's a high number. I think we're in the 20s, 22 maybe.
Well, that's unselfish play there.
Yeah. So.
That's team ball.
Yeah, we like to emphasize the one more pass. This is a pretty unselfish group though.
So Zion's still day to day. How about Chase?
Chase has been released.
So he can't
we're
play.
Working him slowly back.
Yeah.
We didn't play him tonight.
He's been out for about 3 weeks, hasn't he?
He's been out for dang near a month. But,
yeah, okay.
We're gonna try to work him back slowly but surely, Big Daddy.
Okay.
Zion's still day to day. So.
Does he get to practice at all, Zion?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. He can do some light stuff, some light shooting and stuff like that.
So might get him after break, just rest him until after January.
That's something that's an idea we're throwing around.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to get Chase back and try to work him back as slow as we can. But we could use a little bit more guard depth.
Well, you'll need it Tuesday, Coach. On my schedule, the border war, Wyoming, Nebraska. You're at Cougar Palace, Western Nebraska. That's always a big rival game for years and years here, Casper versus the Cougars, and that'll be a good one down at Cougar Palace as always.
A really good team,
Are
really
they?
well coached.
Okay.
A good friend of mine, Corey Farringer, is their head coach, and he does an unbelievable job with those guys, and they got a really good team this year. And so looking forward to going down to Cougar Palace and playing a competitive game. Our guys are really looking forward to that one.
Good place to play, Coach. And then if my schedule speaks right, December 12th, Eastern Wyoming in town, and that's your final game?
Final game in town, Eastern Wyoming.
Okay.
Yep, and then we finish with NJC at NJC on the 15th.
Down to Colorado Bank Center.
Colorado Bank. Yep. So that'll finish out the semester for the fellas, and then we'll regroup and get the guys back January 2nd
for conference.
For conference play.
You open up with Western Nebraska here and then conference.
Yep. So
all right,
we'll be back in the swing of things.
Safe trip to Cougar Palace. Get a win. That'll be a big one for you, big guy. 9-3, by the way.
9-3. Yep.
Okay,
and then want to throw a big shout out to the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, they had a lot of kids here. I followed them in. They were happy to be here.
Yeah. It was great to see those guys come out and
support the Birds.
So
you bet.
That was awesome.
Even Charlie's supporting us tonight again. He's holding up that chair.
Yeah.
See Big Chuck? Yeah.
I see Big Chuck over there. He's a good supporter.
Yeah, I know it. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thanks, Big Dad.
All right, there's your head coach of the Birds, Coach Danny Russell, on the post-game show, and they will be at Cougar Palace. Mackay had 8, Antoon had 10, Banks had 13, Levy had 4, Nolan had 21, 8 for 12. He was 5 for 8 from the arc. Wilson had 5, Big O had 21, Blake Goodwin 5 for 8 from the arc, 15, and Stint had 4. Luke had 14 for the All-Stars. Vintage had 16 to lead them. Art had a couple. Sam had 2. Robbie didn't score. Chris had 3. Castellanos, number 5, okay, he had 2. And the VU had, Evan had 8, and Devin Dooley was 2 for 8 from the arc for 6 points. So for Courtney and Justin, we'll talk to you tomorrow night early. It's an afternoon game. Matinee Air Force comes into town. Take Dwight Ganeri's 10-1 Ladybirds on. So we'll be on the air tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So long, folks.